Hello, good morning.
السلام عليكم.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Oh my god, I hope the black boxes thing isn't. Why does it happen? Imani, did you update your TikTok?
I think it's if you update your TikTok, but also for some people, it's just been glitching. Like, مش في إيدهم.
I did update my TikTok. And when I went live the other day, it was really perfect, but I don't know why this is happening. It's really bad, they say. Imani, is there a way to fix the glitch? Why is it always glitching on your side? Hi, Harley. Okay guys, tap, 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 tap and share. We will be hosting Mr. Robert Martin today with us. So tap and share the live please. أهلا وسهلا جماعة غزة. أنا بعتذر منكم، ما راح أستقبل حدا اليوم لأنه عندي مقابلة الآن مع نشط أسترالي. اللي حابب يضل ويكبس معانا كل الشكر إله، بس حاليا ما راح أستقبل أطلع حدا على القستات. وعليكم السلام، أهلا وسهلا بالجميع.
Okay, can we please, because you said let's start tapping and sharing, but we need to give them like a set number to get to. We have to motivate them. Can we please get the taps up to, we'll do the 25K like we usually do. We'll start there. And the shares up to 300, please and thank you. So we can be good and ready once Abu Siraj's guests arrive. I'm gonna send it out to the Discord. Give me 1 second. Just hey Mooney.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. I'm gonna say we're just gonna wait here in silence.
No, I was fixing it. I think it should be good. I'm watching from my backup.
Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna mute until the cat is fed.
Okay. Anyway, y'all, can we get the taps up? It's only 85 shares. Can we get the shares to 200? Let's get the taps to the 20K. Before our guests come, you have 3 minutes, please. Thank you. And if you haven't already, please join. Please join the team by pressing the heart at the top. And once you do that, you should tap it again and claim the points. Everybody should definitely be awake at this time. It is school time, so American people should be up by this time already. So yeah, so continue to tap and share until Abu Siraj's guest makes his way here. And
Jay, when you ask the people to come, let them know that there is an event. They might think it's Gaza news, you know?
yeah, Jay. So you,
Hey,
Rob.
Rob.
Don't remind me.
Okay, guys, we need the box next to me empty for Mr. Robert, and we can have people up. Let's get Shanita. Let's get Angel.
Angel said, I'm not touching the panel.
I'm next to you.
Angel,
Drop
can you
me.
Yeah.
request the box next to Ashante?
Yep.
Hi, Eva. Hi, DJ. Hi, everyone. Brother Jacob.
Hi guys. Salam everybody. Good
Salam.
morning, Money.
Good morning, baby.
Hey, I'm in the middle. I'm just
So
gonna help with pushing the live. I can't talk right now, but I just wanted to help push out
I
the
understand,
live.
brother, but thank you for showing up. Thank
Yeah,
you,
if you need to
brother.
drop me for someone,
Welcome.
go ahead. But yeah, you talked to
Salam
Robert. He's on the
Jacob.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jacob
he's
he's on the way.
right
Salam.
here.
Shanta.
Sammy, I'm
Kif.
He's
gonna
here.
drop you.
Sammy.
I'm gonna
Sammy,
drop
Yeah,
can
you.
you go to the box right below you, please?
Yalla, yalla, yalla.
yeah. If you need to drop me,
Okay.
go right ahead. I was just gonna help boost the live, but my page
Jacob, you're
obviously
fine,
isn't big
Jacob.
enough.
If you need to go, you
Okay.
can drop, but you can stay for now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in the middle of a meeting, so I'll be back.
No
All
problem,
right.
brother.
Robert requested.
I know, but wait, don't. I didn't want to request him up because I was gonna do it from the top box. Robert, can I drop you and request again? I'm gonna put you at the top.
You do whatever you need to do.
Okay. Hold on.
Where did Jacob go?
He said he's gonna do the meeting and come right back.
Okay.
Robert, request now. Okay, I see you. Okay, go ahead, Abusai.
Okay, assalamu alaikum. Hi everyone. It's really good to have you here among us. As you all know, we have Mr. Robert Martin with us today, but let us first do a mad round of taps and shares so the live get boosted. Please, let's do this, guys. Also contribute to the live goals, team points. Anything you can do will definitely help in pushing the live. So let's do this, please. Tap and share. It's good to have you with us, Mr. Robert.
I'm very, very happy to be here. And I'm happy I'm your first. That's very cool.
Yeah, you are my first, and it's gonna be amazing, inshallah. Mr. Robert, can you test your camera if you can open it now? Let's see if it's working.
Okay.
Request so you can check.
That's my head. Do I
Okay,
have to
so
hit save?
yes, so when you there you go.
Okay, amazing. We can see you.
My goodness, technology.
Pass that 1K, Robert.
It's I think there was a little bit of help. Isn't it crazy that we can do all of this and the Zionists can still get away with their lies?
That it happens in color first. That it happens in 4K, literally in front of our eyes, and they're still getting away with it.
Yeah, it's one of the things that we will be discussing as well in the interview. So another reminder for everyone, please, guys, I want to see those taps going up to at least 50K taps, and let's get the shares up to 500. Come on, guys, this
Abu
is a
Sraj,
special day.
put yourself in the big box in order to make tab good. I mean, much better than the small box.
Okay, can we do like the two screens next to each other?
بالضبط.
Host, can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. There's some action.
Yeah, I guess the host is...
I mean, can hold on. Oh, I got it. I found it.
Okay. No, I meant the
I know.
host box, not me. Is it easier for you to tap, guys?
لا انت لازم تنزل تحت والهوست يطلع محلك.
هيني بسوي فيه انت تاني.
Okay, we'll get this done. So Mr. Robert, I had to ask one of my friends to log into my account because you know the connection in Gaza can be stable sometimes.
Of course.
So yeah, that's why. And we have Jacob here. He's saying hi in the comments.
Jacob, my brother. My sailor friend. He's a good man, Jacob.
He is.
I like him very much.
He is. Okay,
What's
perfect.
up, Robert?
Good to see you from this side, Jacob.
Yes, yes. I know. We haven't seen each other since the Hondola.
Yeah. You going okay?
Yeah, I'm just in Cairo right now, just doing some meetings and stuff for Taboo Club. You know, it's a boys and girls club type organization out here. So just running around town. But thank you for coming on my buddy Siraj's live. You know, appreciate it.
When you asked, I couldn't say no.
Yes, of course, of course.
No.
Well, let's not focus on me. Let's focus on you. I'm sure Siraj has a lot of questions. Sam, you all of them. So I'm gonna turn my camera off, so because I know I'm so handsome, and I'm gonna distract everyone. So
You're very handsome.
yes. Okay.
Do you have a shirt on?
Yes, I have my shirt. Funny thing, chat. When we were on the boat, I kept walking by the Al Jazeera camera that was streaming live with my shirt off, and I had people messaging me like, "Habibi, my wife is watching. Please put your shirt on."
Oh dear. All right.
Okay. Thank you, brother Jacob. Assalamu alaikum. Hi, everyone. This is Abu Siraj from the Gaza Strip. We have today with us the great Mr. Robert Martin. He's an Australian based in Melbourne. Robert Martin has been a tireless advocate for Palestinian rights for over a decade, particularly through personal fact-finding visits, direct footage from occupied areas like Hebron, and confronting Israeli settlers and soldiers on camera. He's a father and a grandfather, driven by moral urgency. We're very happy to have you with us today, Mr. Robert. I hope you and your family are doing well.
You're very kind. That was very, very kind words. You made me sound a lot better than I am, but thank you.
Well, you deserve every word indeed. And I also want to remind everyone that Mr. Robert was part of the Handala ship. He was trying to break the siege imposed on Gaza as well. So every time he gets a chance to do something for Palestine, he never hesitates. And that's why I am honored to have him here with us. And I will start with my first question. Basically, tell us what started your journey from everyday life in Australia to become a frontline activist for Palestine?
My best friend is Palestinian. And from probably the year 2010 to 2014, he used to tell me what was going on in Palestine. He said, they're killing my kids, they're killing my family, they're stealing our land, they're expelling. My father was kicked out in 48. He's not allowed back in. Our uncles and aunts, they've all had grief. And I would go home and turn the news on, and the news in Australia, the mainstream media, would start to tell me how the Palestinians were terrorists and that the Israelis were just trying to mind their own business and they wanted peace. And unfortunately, the strength of the media got me over my best friend. He was my business partner and also my best man at my wedding. And I always thought that, you know how you have these people that are just crazy supporters of a soccer team or a basketball team, and they always say that their team is the best? I thought that's what it was. And then 2014 came around and I started to see kids being bombed, mothers being bombed, fathers being bombed, hospitals, schools, against a civilian population that didn't have tanks, Navy ships, aeroplanes. They just had some fighters, resistance fighters, that had basically homemade rockets. And then things really started to turn because the media kept saying something, you know, which is that the Palestinians were terrorists. I started to Google a little bit. I came across a few different booklets. One was called the Hasbara Guide. The other one is called the Israel Project. And what they are, they're both instruction manuals to teach students in America how to fight for Israel. And they always said that if you use the word Palestine, make sure you use the word terrorist. If you use the word Israeli or Jew, you always say that they're a loving father and they were murdered or massacred. And so subliminally, you buy these lies. And then when I started to really figure out things, people told me I had no idea. I said, do you? They said, have you ever been? I said, no. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go. I'm actually going to go. It's the only way that I'm going to figure out how I can see what's going on is to go on my own, not part of a group, just to go on my own to see. And I was blown away. I was blown away with what I saw. It is horrific. Now, today is obviously worse. But what I saw in 2014, looking back, there's no surprise that Israel was capable of doing this. I saw it all throughout. Everywhere I went and everywhere I spoke to them about Palestinians, they had fear and terror and hatred in their eyes. And I got a lot of that on film. And it changed me forever. It changed me forever. And I've used my white privilege ever since, because I can say whatever a Palestinian says. You can put us up together. He can say everything he wants to say. I'll say exactly word for word, but people will believe me, because that's the way the world is. We're racists. I was a subconscious racist. I didn't know that I was a racist. I didn't know that I had these biases towards my best friend. It's embarrassing, but it's the way the world works. And the world is starting to change the way it works because of social media, people like all of you on here talking about things in real time. When I was over in 2014, I visited a village that was famous for a movie called The Five Broken Cameras. Because what happened is they were documenting all of the crimes of the Israelis in their little villages, and the Israelis would come by and smash the cameras, take the SD cards, and that's what they continually did. They knew that they could just get away with it. They knew that they could do it, and they did get away with it. Whereas today, I mean, I know that things are vastly changing. Because of our conversation here, somebody might learn something and pick something up. It's a beautiful thing. We must not stop talking about Palestine, and that's one thing that I did. I know that I can say more than Palestinians can say. I know there's a lot of more things that I can get away with as well, and I'm going to use that. That was my first.
Yeah, that is a truly inspiring, and as a Palestinian from Gaza, I really hope that a lot of people will be listening to this and will follow your footsteps, because after all, we cannot do this alone. We have been fighting the occupation for almost 8 decades, and we only got so little help. But now, after October 7th and after everything that has happened in the Gaza Strip and is still happening, I believe it is time for more people to speak up after them realizing exactly what is happening in the Gaza Strip.
What I did do early, so I don't mean to cut you off, I got to know a gentleman by the name of Mahmoud Arafat in Gaza. And he used to tell me, and he used to film through his window of bombings. And so I had a real time conversations with him, and I couldn't believe that I was on the same planet as him, that they were getting bombed next door, their power was getting cut. All of these things were going on in 2014. And then when I'd done my research, it had been going on for years before that. Years. Israel calls it mowing the lawn. They're proud to have a term for it. But yet mainstream media and mainstream governments use the same rhetoric. Their time's coming. Their time's coming, and they will pay for their crimes of complicity.
Inshallah, they will. I do believe that they can no longer hide the truth, and truth always prevails. And inshallah, one day victory will be ours, and the Palestinians will be able to live in justice, peace, and equality. You mentioned that you have visited the West Bank in 2014, and you reminded me of these days when they first attacked Gaza, and it lasted for 51 days. 25% of the buildings in Gaza were completely destroyed. More than 2,000 people were unalived, and thousands were injured. And back then, I was so young. I didn't fully understand what was happening around me, and I kept asking myself why this is happening to us, and why no one cares, why no one listens. I knew that a lot of Palestinians were speaking up, and also pro-Palis, but it was never enough to stop what they were doing to us back then. And the significance of your journey and visit to Palestine is that you documented the Israeli crimes, racism, and apartheid way before October 7th, because every time we talk to them nowadays, they mention October 7th as if it was the beginning of the problem. But the problem was already there. The problem is the occupation. The problem is racism. The problem is dehumanization of Palestinians. So my question to you, you are in Australia, far away from Palestine, yet you chose to act. Why do you think that some people in the other side of the world feel this cause so deeply, while others remain indifferent to it?
People are selfish. People are self-centered. People worry about paying their bills maybe next month, and if it doesn't affect them, they don't care about it. It has to be in their face. And this is why, unfortunately, it's the killing of the children back in 2014 that got me thinking, what the hell's going on here? And a lot of people are also brainwashed about Israel. That Israel is okay, and that Israel is doing what they're supposed to be doing. And all these Palestinians do is wake up in the morning and want to kill the Jews, because that's what we're told. They don't actually ask, like October 7 happened and it's going to change history and we'll all look back and we'll all look at it a lot differently. But October 7, and I ask everybody, is what caused it? Why did that happen that day? And I wait for the answer. You know, and they come up with all different things, Hamas, this, Islamists, all of that. And you just wait and say, no, but what was the reason? It takes them a long time to figure out that this was the last resort. Because the Palestinians, they've tried everything. They've tried legal, they've tried negotiating, they've tried all these sorts of things, absolutely everything. Israel says that it left Gaza in 2005, but they put a stranglehold on an illegal siege and started starving people. They were counting calories back then, all the way back then, and they admitted it. And you have all of these Israeli Knesset members proudly saying that we're going to bomb the Palestinians into the Stone Age. That was 10 years ago. That was 10 years ago that these politicians were saying that. Other politicians saying that, you know, you must kill the Palestinian children. They're snakes. Kill the mothers. We should have listened to them the whole way. Now, if you put a people, first of all, if you take a people who's been persecuted and you give them a land that's already somebody else's, that's your day one. And that's the easiest way to explain it to people. It's colonialism, 101. Boom. Now, one has a right, and the one that is being colonised has the right to resist. The other one doesn't have any rights at all, has no rights. So everyone that's to blame for October 7 is Balfour Declaration, all the mainstream media, all the Western governments, because they allowed Israel to go this far. So we are all to blame for October 7. The Palestinians are not. We cannot tell them how to resist. We have no right to judge how they resist. What we do have a right is to figure out why we allowed Israel to continue on doing this to put the Palestinians in the position that they had to do October 7. The world is seeing it now where they've never seen it before. I remember when I used to wear a keffiyeh in 2010, people would look at me a little, or 2014, people would look at me going, first of all, I wouldn't know what it was. And then some may know what it is, but they probably think it's more, to do with jihadi. But today you wear one. I mean, I've got tattoos all over myself to say that, I'm pro-Palestine because I'm proud. And the amount of people that come up to me and say, Free Palestine, is amazing. These people are more comfortable today to come out in public and show their support for the Palestinians. Whereas over the years, it's been too difficult. Sometimes if you're a business, you can lose your license, you can get fined, you can get put in prison, you can get beaten, you get demonized. So it was always too hard. Whereas today, it's too hard to support Israel. Who could possibly support Israel, a demonic so-called state that is doing the Holocaust of our time, the extermination of a people of our time? What do we tell our grandchildren? What did we do? I could not imagine telling my grandchildren that I allowed it to continue, because all of the signatures, all of the receipts are on people's phones today. Printed out, put in boxes. They're on USB sticks. They're everywhere today. So people cannot say, I was always against Israel. Because it's amazing how many people from apartheid South Africa will tell you, you know what, I was always against it. I never liked it. I always thought it was bad. But we know that they've changed their tune because they feel that they have to.
Totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. And, I do believe that when God created us, we are all connected. I do believe that we should care about each other. We should care about everything happening around us. And I keep saying this, if you don't do anything to bring about justice, one day you too will experience injustice. So we need to do something. I heard the other day that there was a protest for Palestine in Australia, and it was really amazing. I saw the pictures and the videos.
Every week we're doing it here.
Yeah, but I saw one before that was against the Australian government for trying to help the Palestinians or Muslims in general. So regarding that, I want to hear your opinion on that, but the question is, how do you respond to Australians who say it's not our fight, it's too complicated?
Well, that's a funny one, because that is something I used to get. That is something that I used to get. I don't get it anymore. I don't get it anymore, because Israel has shown its true face. It's not complicated anymore. They're trying to exterminate a people, and they also know that behaviour came well before October 7. And so those sort of excuses or questions have definitely gone. The rhetoric on the TV is definitely changed, and our politicians have definitely changed, where they're talking about the recognition of Palestine, which to me is offensive. To be doing it today, it's offensive, because there's barely anything there. What they need to reconcile, or is they need the recognition that Israel is a pariah state, and Israel needs to be held to account for all of its crimes, its war crimes. That's the recognition we need to do now. But all of those questions have gone. Melbourne rallies, they're having them every Sunday. Every Sunday. And some Sundays they're getting up to 60,000 people, which is huge, huge numbers. Because going every single week, it's not easy, but they have been doing it. I spoke in Adelaide 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they had 10,000 people there. And the previous top amount was like 3,000. Australia's coming out for your people, my friend. Australia is coming out, and proudly. They are proudly doing it. And that is a beautiful thing. And there's nothing that will be able to shut the people power down. It's not going to happen. It will not happen.
Inshallah. You know, I already told you that one of my brothers got a humanitarian evacuation to Australia, and he's now in Melbourne. And I talked to him the other day, and he told me very nice things about the people of Australia and how they showed him support, love, and they welcomed him. Alhamdulillah, I do believe that we are seeing the change. I do believe that if this happened like a decade ago or 2 decades ago, it would have been different. But now people can see. Yeah.
But it did happen. It was just smaller amounts, like, the 51-day war that we were talking about. They did happen. They got the hospitals, the ambulances, the schools. They tried to get rid of the ecosystem and to try and break Palestine down so it wouldn't thrive. And you're right, they got away with it. They did get away with it. I just saw someone in the notes said that they had 300,000 in Sydney a few weeks ago, and that is the truth. There was 300,000 across the bridge, and they've never had a protest or a rally on that bridge before, and it was a sight to behold. I was in Sydney on that day, but I had flown in from the flotilla, so I could not drag myself out of bed. But it was a magnificent spectacle for Palestine.
Yeah, that was really beautiful. I saw the images. It was a truly heartwarming, and it's good for me as a Gazan to know that there are people who are willing to do something for us. It's truly inspiring. So, Mr. Robert, during my time of activism, I have received so many threats, and I'm sure that you have suffered the same thing. So my question is, has there been a moment when you thought of stepping back from activism for Palestine because of that?
No, there hasn't. I don't get a lot of threats anymore. So when I first started, I owned my own businesses, and so they tried to close my businesses down, but it was my own business, so that wasn't going to work. They sent the anti-terrorism unit to my office, and we spent a lovely 3 hours together. And when I say lovely 3 hours, it actually was really good, because they figured out who I was, what I was about, that I wasn't an anti-Semite, I wasn't supporting terrorism. I was just a guy trying to figure out what was going on. And so they really commended me for it and said, we like what you do. And so that sort of gave me some protection. So that was good. The last thing I had stickers on my car, and I had one of my kids in it. There's a Jewish school not too far from where the kids live. And someone came right up behind me in a huge four-wheel drive, started tooting, flashing their lights, trying to cut me off, and then drove off. I knew where he was going, which was the school. So I went to the school, I rang the police, and I stood there and I waited for the police to go and talk to the guy, just so they knew that we weren't going to be afraid. But my daughter was afraid. She's 12. I was driving her to gymnastics, and to have that experience, that's not on. I've never had anybody say anything to my tattoos, though. So when I am in verbal, or where we can get to each other, they're not protected, they don't say a thing. Not once has anyone said anything. And I have them, they're in positions that they're not hidden. But if you put stickers on your car, they're so tough and they want to try and run you off the road. But no, I compare it to what Palestinians are going through and what I saw in Palestine when I saw, a dozen soldiers kicking into a Palestinian because he was Palestinian, interviewing people that had filmed an execution in Hebron. He had filmed the execution. And he was, the soldiers go to the top of his house and urinate through his drain pipes where his kids live. Another family I spent time with, whose daughter was intentionally run over and killed, and then harassed by soldiers. I feel and I see those people in my mind every day. And I have gone through nothing compared to what they go through. And I will not give the satisfaction to anyone that tries to threaten me to stop talking about Palestine. They will not get the satisfaction of that working. And it's got to the point where I don't get many at all. I do not get many. One thing I do get is the Palestinians are the most courageous, humorous, beautiful, welcoming, empathetic people that you will ever meet. And I have been blessed to be able to say that I have immersed myself in different villages, in different places throughout the world, and been amongst the Palestinians. And it is the best thing in the world. And you couldn't give me enough threats to make it not worth it. It wouldn't happen.
Yeah, you know, I'm about to cry because of you, Mr. Roberts. Wallah, you made me tears. Like,
It's all true.
like you made me speechless, to be honest. I don't know what to say anymore. I really hope that more and more people will see us the same way you see us, because I spent my whole life being demonized by others. People, just because I'm a Palestinian and a Muslim, people think of me as a bad person. But hearing these words from you and from a lot of lovely people I met online gives me hope and warms my heart, telling me that there is...
Yeah, keep going, sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
What I was going to say is that it's... The one thing that I couldn't believe was that when the Palestinians were getting killed, getting their land taken, having kids taken from them or put in jail or the families in jail, demolishing their houses, having to do it themselves or have concrete filled in their houses, they go through all of this hell and then they're blamed for it. They're blamed for their own deaths. That's the one thing that I could never get over, you know, or that you shouldn't have done this, or you should have done that, you shouldn't have done this. Not once early on were people saying, no, hang on. It's not the Palestinians' fault. They just got executed. Their house got taken. But that rhetoric is changing, where people know the sort of people that you are. They know the sort of people you are. Your freedom will free the world. You are you're a beacon of hope for us as well. We can't feel your pain like you can, but we understand, and we must try to do everything we possibly can to stop what's happening to you. I can't wait for the day that Palestine is a one state, equal rights for everybody, where we can all come in. Jacob and I, people from all over the world, can come in there and celebrate on your land, in your homes, under your rules. And that's going to happen. It will happen.
It will definitely happen. As long as we are here and not going anywhere, we will keep fighting for our freedom. It is our right to be free. It is our right to fight back after 8 decades of occupation and oppression. And I'm really happy that you mentioned this point. They always try to blame the victim, like we are the ones who are being oppressed, and they blame us if we decided to fight back or do anything.
Raj, excuse me, Abu Sraj. Breaking news just right now, the occupation targeting El Roya Tower. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Sami. So as we speak, guys, they are still attacking the Gaza Strip heavily, so keep the people of Gaza in your prayers. And Mr. Robert, we will be watching a video now to remind the people of what you have done back in 2014, and we will ask questions about your journey. Please go ahead, Money.
Well, Money gets the video, guys. Can we please get the shares up to at least 2,000? And we're almost at 100K taps, so let's keep going. Again, thank you so much, Robert, for being here. We really appreciate everything.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to especially be speaking people in Gaza. It's It's good. I like it. Thank you.
The honor is ours indeed. Guys, wallahi, when you watch this video, you will realize why it's important to have Mr. Robert with us, because I'm gonna be honest to you guys. A lot of the voices that we have been hearing lately, they just joined the movement after October 7th. But Mr. Robert, he was there on the ground a long time ago, trying his best, confronting settlers and Israeli soldiers, as you're gonna be watching in this video. Watch the video and enjoy it. There is no sound.
Money, you're muted.
Sorry, you guys try operating so many devices.
I don't know how you do it. I'm in Hebron, and I've just been told about a wall. So this gate locks about 40 Palestinian families in, and it actually locks at certain times where they can't come out. And this actual side of the road that I'm walking on, the Palestinians can't come. There's actually a bus stop over behind me, and the Palestinians aren't allowed to take it. I can take it. The Palestinians can't take it. That's complete racism at the heart. And if I walk over here at the bus stop, you'll see. How you doing? You can see the heavily guarded stuff for the Palestinians. So I wonder who's protecting who. They all seem so worried about the Palestinians. There's nothing to worry about. It's terrible. Do you like the racism?
I like racism?
Yeah. What do you think about the Palestinians not being able to walk along here?
I don't know, I don't think too much about it.
It's because you don't think about other people? Or?
Of course I do.
And then how can you not think when they can't walk here and they can't get the bus?
Huh?
They can't get the bus, they can't do anything. What do you think? Okay.
You don't have to read up.
You don't have to read up. You're living here, man. They're not allowed over here when you're on the bus.
I'm here a few times.
American dollars paying, huh? Fantastic. Hey, can I ask you what you think of the racism here? What do you think? What do you think about the Palestinians not being able to walk here? Don't care?
What?
You don't care? So,
I
see
don't
the arrogance?
understand
You see the arrogance about it. It's very arrogant that they're racist right to the heart. It's disgusting. You should be really ashamed of yourself. Say hi, huh? You're looking for peace? Just want to steal all of Palestine? You should be ashamed of yourselves. I just wonder if I could ask you a couple of questions. You want to tell me about you want to talk to me? About why the Palestinians can't walk down here? You don't care?
I don't know. I know as much as you know.
No, you don't, because you live here.
I don't live there.
So that you just use, ignorance with a big smile. You should all be ashamed of yourselves. You can laugh. You don't know what's going on over here. You don't care.
Hi, guys.
Because you're all protected by this. Go and recording.
How are you?
Because you're racist. It's disgusting. You're all protected by all the armed services. You don't care because you think it's God's will.
That should give you a good life.
Yeah, why do you tell everyone why you're living here? And what you're doing, occupying someone else's land. Okay, you tell us. I want to know.
It's our land.
It's yours?
It's in the Bible and is written in the Bible in very many places.
So he says that it's racist and Palestinians shouldn't be able to walk here?
They live here best in the whole Middle East.
Then why can't they walk across? Tell me why they can't walk across. Tell
because
everybody.
they shot Jews on every place here.
Who shot 28 Palestinians here? Tell me.
They killed other
Jews here. Who? Who killed the 28? Huh? Defending yourselves. Just say, fuck the Palestinians.
Excuse me. Please talk nicely.
I won't talk nicely because you're a bunch of animals.
No cursing. No cursing.
No cursing.
I didn't curse
This is what the
anyone.
world should do.
Speak
Wake
nice.
up, world.
Speak now.
Thank you, Robert.
That was an interesting day.
I also have to say, I should also add real quick, Robert, when the IOF boarded our ship, Robert was the first one to kind of pop shit to them and talk shit. Like, it'd be like, oh, you guys are disgusting. And kind of gave us all the courage to then follow suit and talk shit to them,
They're weak.
Yeah,
week.
I watched this video like years ago, and I kept watching it. It was truly fulfilling, man. Like you said, like the things that we wanted to say in
Mm.
their faces with no fear. And I have so many questions about your journey to the West Bank, but I'm gonna start with this. When you first witnessed occupation with your own eyes, what detail shocked you the most? Something that no headline could capture.
Well, I'll tell you, I witnessed the racism before I got into Palestine. So I was coming across Allenby Bridge. I was on a bus. The bus stopped. They have, the soldiers that they wear brown pants and a tight white T-shirt, and they have an Uzi and a sidearm. They got on the bus, and bearing in mind, the people on the bus with me were Palestinians going home to Palestine. Okay, I'm a immigrant coming in to visit, basically. All the Palestinians were taken off the bus and had their bags gone through. And I was on the bus, and they barely looked at my passport and didn't say anything. Now, that's back to front. It's not supposed to be like that, because you're going home to your own country. You're supposed to get the express. You're supposed to get the better treatment because they know who you are. But in Palestine, it's different, because they want to make sure that anyone returning doesn't enjoy it, doesn't want to come back. They want to make sure that, if you are visiting and you're Palestinian, who your grandfather was, so they can say no. So that was my first. And then the bus went, I don't know, about another 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's hard to remember. And we got off the bus. And I saw a whole lot of lines of people, families, elderly, young kids, and, they're sleeping up against the wall. They were sitting, down against the wall. And I thought, it's not a good look. And the Israelis tried to get me to go in front of them. They said, you can just go to the front of the line and do, that's it. And I was absolutely bemused by this. Not the fact that it was just the racism, but the fact that you had these young soldiers, fully armed, happy to demonize and talk down to the elders. Also the kids. They treated the Palestinians like complete animals, because they are raised to see the Palestinian as animals. And so that was my first bit of racism before I actually got into Palestine. And that's not something that's spoken about a lot. But, a lot of people will know that if you've got some sort of, Arab background, especially Palestinian, and they'll check your grandfather, and there's a huge chance today that there's no way you'll get in. Whereas I could get in, not anymore, but I've got a few bands on me, I think. But it that really was crazy when I saw that.
It's sad that a lot of the Palestinians cannot visit their homeland, while others can go easily because they are not Palestinians. And I felt the same when I had the chance to visit the city of Jerusalem back in 2012. And I'm the only member of my family that was lucky enough to visit Jerusalem and pray in Al-Aqsa Mosque. And I have seen so many tourists coming to pilgrimage to the churches, and yet the indigenous people of the land can't go there without an Israeli approval, and the majority of the people in Gaza are denied access to the West Bank or Jerusalem for a very, very long time. So I understand it's truly shocking, and every time I think about this, I feel so much angry.
What it does for the elderly, I see a lot of the elderly Palestinians in different parts of the world. They come up and they tell me the stories, and I say, look, are you going to go back? And they won't. They won't have a 17 or 18-year-old Israeli tell them they can't go back into their country. But that's what Israel wants as well. But they also don't want to have to be able to go through different checkpoints and have a 17 or 18-year-old Israeli say, no, you can't come to this, to your own town. And it's really put them off. And unfortunately, they just don't go back anymore. And it's heartbreaking.
It is. It is. For example, my family, we are originally from Jaffa. We are refugees in Gaza, and I have never visited Jaffa. I've never had the chance to walk in the streets of Jaffa and meet the place where my family comes from. And just like you said, Yani, I saw people who look like Americans, Europeans, claiming to be the real owners of this land and deciding where can I go and where I can't. It's just unbelievable. So, brother, in Hebron, you have looked settlers in the eye and called out apartheid. What were you thinking when you were doing that? And like, did you like, Yani, what was on your mind?
So with that event, I was with Issa Amro, who's a very well known activist. He's Palestinian. He lives in Hebron, and he had given us a tour where we were walking around. And there was a particular, we're going down a normal road. There's no lines or anything, but there's soldiers. And it's the same soldiers that he sees every day. And they give him the same grief, talk down to him. Well, there was this 13, 14-year-old, maybe, kid, had his curls. He was sort of swaggering about, and he started yelling at Issa. And I said, that didn't sound good. Well, this guy had, and he said this before, but he said to Issa, Issa, one day I'm going to come upstairs, I'm going to kill you and your family. And then he high-fived the soldiers. And the soldiers were happy to high-five back. And that really got on my nerves. I really started to, get... the old Robs came back that, I don't take bullies too nicely. And, that kid needs to be told that's not on. Well, you see the footage today of settlers roaming the streets now, doing whatever the hell they like. Kids like this is something I only learned. Kids like this that are, the youth that's naughty, they've gone off the rails, they use them now as bait. They actually send them out to different areas to start fights and then send the army in. And so that was that day, and I got angrier and angrier. So after I'd heard that, I went down to the bus stop and spoke to the soldiers, and the American guy that said, he was speaking fine until I asked him those questions. And then he all of a sudden couldn't speak English. But there's also another section that I walked past. There's another video somewhere. And it's an apartment building. There might be 30 apartments, it might be 20, might be 40, I don't know. But it's for Palestinians. But because the entrance of that comes out to the apartheid road, the soldiers can lock that gate anytime they like, and it's the only way in or out from that building. And so you've got a 17, 18-year-old soldier with the key that can lock an entire family in for an entire day if he feels like it. And they do this, and they do it on a regular basis. And then they wonder why that the Palestinians are coming out angry. But that's another thing on that corner that you don't hear about. In fact, I may have seen it on the news lately because it is something that is becoming a little bit more spoken about. But before that, I mean, you can imagine my brain just going, how does this work? How does this work? And I think a lot of people Israel relies on people thinking things are too crazy. It can't be true. It just can't be this crazy. It can't be this mad. And so they just move on to something else. But it is that crazy. It really is that crazy. I was getting a haircut on a regular basis because I really liked the guy. And, good stories. It's every 2 or 3 days I have a haircut. And he started talking about, maybe after a week, he started talking about his nephew, who was his trainee, his apprentice. Showed me the picture on the wall. And then I said, where is he? And he said he got executed at the door. He got executed at the door. He was standing at the front of the door. This is in Jerusalem, right where the bus stop is. And killed him. And he got a letter or an apology to say that it was a mistaken identity, it was a mistake. But no one's held to account. His nephew's gone. And it's just another way that the Israeli apparatus moves, clicking around, doing the damage. Slowly, whether it be a demolition, whether it be an execution, whether it be an administrative detention, whether it be any of those particular things, it's always working. And this is, remembering, this is the occupied West Bank. This isn't Gaza. So they're different forms of horrific war crimes that we just watch.
Exactly. I just want to remind everyone that since October 7th till now, more than 1,000 Palestinians were killed in the West Bank. In the West Bank, not in Gaza. Hundreds of houses were demolished. Thousands of people were displaced. So they are doing the same thing in the West Bank as well. And they have stormed into cities and camps. They have set their own roads that only them can use. And this is why we keep saying that this is an apartheid state. Because in Israel, or the so-called Israel, the Israelis get to do what the Palestinians don't. It's always that way. The Israelis think of themselves as more important, more valuable, and more worthy of anyone else. And that's how they are treating the Palestinians. And this is why the Palestinians are fighting. They are fighting because they have every right to do so.
This is the ludicrous, the outrageousness of calling a Palestinian an anti-Semite is so barbaric, stupid. It's so ludicrous because the Palestinians, everything we've spoken about in the last 50 minutes, that's what they hate. They don't care that they're Jews. They couldn't care less that they're Jews. It's the actions of these horrible human beings. And Israel tries to represent, saying that we represent all Jews worldwide. They don't say it as much anymore, but they used to say it a lot. So the rest of us buy into it. But can you imagine being a Palestinian in the West Bank? Of course, you're going to hate every single one of these people because they're your jailers, they're your murderers, they're your killers. They're your, the people that steal your land, that will close your property, will close your businesses, kill your son. You have every right to hate those people. And if you didn't hate those people, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you.
Exactly. Do you know what's the difference between us and them? Is that when I was a child, no one had to teach me to hate them. No one told me to hate them. I wasn't indoctrinated. I hated them because of everything they have been doing to us. I grew up in Gaza. I saw what they were doing, airstrikes every now and then, unaliving my people, including some of my relatives, besieging the Gaza Strip and denying me my right of education because myself, I got a scholarship to Georgetown University, and when I tried to travel, they didn't allow me. Why? Even though I didn't do anything, I didn't have any, I wasn't active in any of the political movements or resistance brigades. I was just a Palestinian citizen who believed that there is some hope, and I wanted to get my degree and to study and to get a better education. And they denied me this right with no reason. So all of the things that the Palestinians have done against the occupiers, they fueled this hatred by their own measures and actions against the Palestinian people. And I hope that everyone will understand this. We are
I
not
don't know if I don't know if everybody knows that. So if someone's, you might have someone that is, he's done a crime, done something wrong, he's beaten someone, whatever he's done, the Palestinians done wrong. He may be not fully charged, but they're thinking that he may have done it. That is enough for the court to decide to either demolish his family's house, or if they can't demolish it, they'll fill it with concrete. And then maybe they come out and they say, well, you know what, he didn't do it, sorry, you're right. There's no recourse. There's no recourse. They don't get their house back. They don't get any of these things back. And the amount of houses that they do demolish or fill with concrete is a lot. So I just wanted to mention that because I remember being there when they started filling it, and I just couldn't.
Well, that is a very important point to discuss as well, because when they are dealing with Palestinians, they always use the collective punishment. If you do something, they go after your family, your relatives, your friends, and they try to make everyone suffer like within your circle. And that's why they are doing this to the population of the Gaza Strip as well, and also in the West Bank. In the Gaza Strip, even a few people did what they did on October 7th. They started by denying food, water, and medication to the whole population of the Gaza Strip.
Correct.
And the collective punishment began with targeting the families of the Palestinian fighters. They unalived their wives, their kids, their parents, their siblings, and their whole families. And for some reason, they think that this is okay. For some reason, you hear voices like defending this kind of behavior, which is like a crystal clear war crime.
And then they'll say, why do you hate us?
Why do you hate us? It's complete madness indeed. So brother, I would like to give the opportunity for Angel. She, by the way, she's a big fan and she wanted to talk to you and ask you a question. So she's a close friend of mine. She's a good person. Angel, are you available?
Yes, I'm here. Robert, it's an absolute pleasure and honor. Thank you for coming. I've been following you for a long time, but what I really wanted to know is what role do you think international civil society should play in challenging the blockade and the occupation of Palestine?
I don't think civil society should take any part in it at all, but we have no choice but to do it because the governments aren't going to do it. Look, governments with a flotilla, they could have sent a couple of big boats in, it's all done. A couple of NATO ships, it's all done. But nobody wants to take on Israel still. They might have a bit of a talk about it. But I think we have to just keep doing what we're doing until the government says, hey, you know what? We're supposed to represent the people. This is what the people want. Let's actually do our job. And I just think we're getting closer. And look, I also realize that I'm very conscious that I'm in a bubble. So when I'm on my Instagram and, I'm in a bubble still. And so everything's, pro-Pal. And I think, you know what, the world has changed. Israel's gone and Palestine's free. And then you realize that you're in a bubble. And so we need to keep growing our bubbles. We need to keep getting outside our bubbles. I think that protests have made a huge difference. A lot of people say that they don't make a lot of difference. I personally think they've given a lot of exposure. But we also need to have more direct action as well. And there's a lot of people doing the direct action. And I think the flotilla at the moment is the number one thing on the planet that will draw attention to Israel. We don't know what's going to happen with this particular flotilla. There are a lot of boats, more than I could have dreamed of. I was a bit dubious at the start, thinking that it's very, very hard to organise such a huge convoy or a flotilla. But things are really working towards Palestine and really anti-Israel, and it seems to be just going at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
If I can just ask one more question, Um, if you could deliver one unfiltered message directly to the Australian government, or for that matter of fact, for the rest of the world, what it what would it be, and what gives you hope despite the overwhelming odds? I'm sorry, I'm rambling and I'm stuttering
No,
because
it's
I'm
good.
nervous.
It's such a difficult question, but it's such an easy question as well. A message you could cut out of, the last hour, you could cut probably, 30 sentences there that I would like to give out to our governments. Look, the Australian Prime Minister, Albanese, he was pro-Palestine 20 years ago. He stood in Parliament House, which is our government, and he said that, the Israelis demonize the Palestinians. They're stealing their land. He said all of these things, whereas today he's only getting his courage up to start speaking about Palestine again. And the only reason is because the people are speaking against all of the governments. And my thing will be just do the right thing. Just do the right thing. The Israel project, it's a failure. It didn't work. It was a colonialistic. It was always going to fail. It was always going to fail. It was just a matter of when. And we need to clean it up. We need to fix it up. Do the right thing.
Thank you so much. Abu Siraj, if you have anybody else that wants to take my place, you can drop me.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Okay.
answering my question, Robert.
I hope I answered.
Thank you, Angel, for being here. Mr. Sami, you want to say something?
Yes, and Mr. Robert, thank you very much. In order to, my name is Sami. I'm a journalist from Gaza. Actually, first of all, I find that we are friends since long time. Actually, in TikTok,
Nice.
just not yesterday actually. But in the end of the day, thank you. You joined the panel in order to give us the opportunity to talk to you. So to be honest, my question, you wasn't a flotilla, and which I understand that you sign a piece of paper in order to be released because they kidnap all of you. If you have the opportunity again to come with another flotilla, are you going to come? This is the first part, and the second part. Could you tell us, as well as all the viewer, which we have around 147 people right now watching us, the first moment when the occupation attack the boat and they kidnap you, how they kidnap all of you, how you are acting, how they are acting. So if you're trying to describe, the image, it will be amazing. Thank you very much.
We had done a lot of training before they came, and so we were very calm. We were very, very calm. We knew they were coming. We could see the countdown on the radar from 4 kilometers to 3.5, 3. We just didn't know how many boats because they were small. We were sitting down with our life vests on and we were holding arms and we started to hum. Bella was the song. And so we were very non-confrontational to them completely. They were very polite to us. And they said that, on the speaker, they said, we know that you've been sailing for 10 days or 8 days, and we know that it's been very difficult. Well, your journey now has come to an end, and now it's time that we're going to end it. We're going to get on board in 10 minutes, and they came straight on. They came on with a film crew because they, trying to make us, a show to show the world how good they are and all of these things, but they ripped our cameras out. And it's a bit of psychological with them. They play nice and then they'll try and stand over you a little bit. They took my bag off me a few times and I refused to give it to them. I also believe that we were gassed, because everyone fell asleep pretty quickly, maybe after an hour. And then they stayed asleep maybe for about 10 hours. Then the 10 hours was when we got to their port. I was the only one that stayed awake. I take certain tablets which can counteract sleepy tablets. And so that's why I believe I was still awake. I don't trust them. They were doing things that I thought were a little bit shifty. They spent a lot of time at the front of the boat in the engine. It's very hot. There was no need to be in there at all. There was no reasons to be in there, but they were in and out of there with their own mechanics for a while. They took our small bags, and then I saw our bags going around the boat and then onto another boat. I have a feeling they were putting things in those bags. And so you can hear it here that I believe they'll try and come up with something to say, look what we found. Here's Robert's bag. It's got this sort of thing in it. I believe that's part of what they were going to do. They were sort of reverse psychology. So it was 11 hours, I think, the trip. When we got to port, they said, right, your journey with us is finished. We're going to hand you over to the next group. Well, the next group was a completely different group. The ones on the boat are Unit 13. They were our Shifa hospital. They're the ones that executed the people there. They're the ones that executed 10 people in the Mavi Marmara in 2010. They are built differently. They're slimmer, tall, built for speed. Actually, just going back to the boat because this might be good for Jacob to hear. In the kitchen or the gully, there's an area where you can sit where we had our food, but it was very hot, very, very hot and no air. I saw the soldiers going into that area and closing the door, and there would have been 6 or 7 of them at a time swapping. And then every so often they would open the door and they'd have their balaclava down. And I believe they were recirculating their air, because there's no reason in the world that you'd want to be in the gully in that type of weather, in that type of, the boat moving. And so that's another reason. Jacob can, have his decision on that one. When we got to port, it was a different story. The guys were much different. They were built for intimidation. They were mean-looking guys. They weren't really trying to make any friends. They were there to make us intimidated and to scare the shit out of us. They had a whole lot of film crew there as well, and so we could see they were trying to make a film. I tried to get off first because I wanted to just judge to see what was going to happen so everyone else could see. As the boat before we docked, I went and gave everybody a hug and a kiss, because I wanted the Israelis to think that I was in charge. That's why I did it. So they would take me first and then go from there. But they said no, they had a specific number. And so they called the numbers out. Everyone was sort of, manhandled. It wasn't nice. Chris Smalls was in front of me, and they manhandled him horrifically. He was gone from standing position to being levitated, and like he'd have one soldier for his arm, and it seemed like another one for his elbow, and they were just contortioning him into horrible positions, which did sort of, put a lot of stress on his body. It was awful. And then we didn't see him for a while, so we were all very, very worried about it. We'd all made a pact that we wouldn't allow anyone to be separated. That wasn't going to happen. They all put us into one room. In the end, when they called my name out, the guy said, "Oh, Robert Martin, you're in big trouble." Again, he's trying to psychologically do me, and it didn't overly bother me. I sort of laughed a little bit. A few people asked that he would then say, right, whoever needed to come, say, Tan, your turn to come out, because they were going to strip search us and go through all of our luggage quickly. Each time anyone, before they got up, they said, we need to know where Chris is. We're not going anywhere until we know where Chris is. And then the guy in charge was a pretty intimidating sort of guy. He said, so you're refusing? And one person said yes. So that person got ripped out of their chair and taken straight in and, physically abused to get the gear off, get all their clothes off and go through their clothes. And so they did that to all of us. We didn't sign anything. So we didn't sign. We were given first opportunity I had with my embassy was there, and they said, look, you've got an offer. You can fly home. You can go straight from Tel Aviv. You can go home. You can go now. No questions asked. I said, do I have to sign anything? They said, yes. I said, well, I'm not leaving. We'd all made a pact we weren't leaving. And so then they tried it a few more times because they wanted us. They wanted us to leave. We're a headache in that place. They do not want us there. Then they asked us to sign these other things. We refused to sign. And so I said, we'll go to prison. And so, we all went to prison. And they were a bit abusive in there. I don't know why. I was in a room with only one other, and they had all the other guys in one room, 7 of them. So I don't know why that happened. I had been told that you never know what's going to happen in jail. You never know, you're never safe in jail. And so I assumed that maybe they're going to try and send somebody in. We got strip searched numerous times. They came in numerous times, with their battle gear on and strip searches. So that was fun. I always laughed and looked at him straight like this because, it made him feel very uncomfortable. And it seemed to be the same guy every time. The beds had bed bugs. They were awful. They had, the water was awful. We all went on a hunger strike. We did not eat or drink water at all. And that wasn't going to change. I don't know what they're going to do with the next crew. I don't know. The reason that the Mavi Marmara stopped doing big cruises is because 10 people got executed. So that was the major reason, because there was so much going on. The Israelis were going bang, 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 bang. And so they decided to do smaller boats. And that's why the Freedom Flotilla Coalition has done small boats. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I don't know. I've seen this Italian search and rescue boat. It's a huge thing. It's 50 meters long or something. And look, I don't know what the Israelis are going to do with a boat like that. They're there to observe. Would I go? Yes, I would go again. My problem is my kids would kill me. My partner would kill me. It's such a long way from Australia as well. I have bad arthritis. I have to have certain medications, and they refuse to give me my medications. They didn't give us medications. They didn't give us phone calls. They didn't give us outside time. But I would go again, yes. Would they beat me next time? I'm not sure. I encouraged them to do so because I said it would be just so good for my presentations when I get home if you could beat the shit out of me. So if you could do it, please. I'll allow it, please. And nothing. So I don't know. The girl Tan, who is Arabic, she's Arab, but she's from Australia, so she held an Australian passport. They beat her. And they made her feel very uncomfortable. They handcuffed her and they threw her around in the cell in front of 3 other women. So they weren't trying to hide it. They couldn't care less. She had a nose ring that was soldered. They came in with bolt cutters, big ones to cut it out. That didn't work, and they tried small ones and they couldn't get it out. Tan has, she was in big trouble. Mentally, she's struggling. When she and I were deported, we got deported through Jordan. The Australian embassy picked us up and they fed us and then took us to hospital. And the hospital deemed us unfit to fly. And so we had to stay another day there, and they gave us drips and all of that sort of jazz. If I take myself out of the equation and I say I'm in a room with people that want to make a difference and they want to make a difference, I'm saying go on the flotilla. I am saying do it. It's something that potentially can make a big difference. It can make a huge difference. It'll go down in history. You'll change as a person. You will meet people that you will have lifelong friends. You will bond with people, and you're doing something. You're doing something good. And I think that if we're in a position to do something, we have an obligation to use it and do it. Too many people get in a position and they don't actually do it. Don't get, when you're older and say, I wish I had done it, do it now. Do it now. And I'm sure Jacob will say the same thing as well. So I think I covered it.
Well, thank you, Mr. Robert, for sharing with us your experience on Handala ship. And need to recognize that the coming Global Sumud flotilla will have more than 100 ships from different countries heading to break the siege on Gaza. And this would have never happened if people like Jacob and Mr. Robert didn't do the Handala flotilla and the ones before. Yani, they have been the inspiration that are going to be heading to Gaza to break the siege. We need to put that
The
into
freedom.
consideration as well, is that when you speak up and you try to do something, people will follow your lead and people will follow your footsteps. Go ahead, Mr. Roberts. Sorry.
I was just going to say that the Freedom Coalition has been around since about 2006, 2007. It was created because of the siege, the illegal siege on Gaza. And so the ship that the Handler was the 37th boat, was actually the 37th boat to set sail. So it's pretty cool. Persistence, and they're slowly doing it. And the Freedom Flotilla Coalition, the different group, they're working together here a little bit. They've got a boat going out at the end of next month. So, yeah. I hope I answered your question anyway, Sammy.
Yeah, I believe you did, and thank you for letting us know. So I have a question, like with two parts. Yeah, and you documented the Israeli crimes back in 2014. What kind of feedback did you get from your family, your circle, and from people in general after watching the videos that you have shared, and also with the Handala Flotilla? Yani, what kind of feedback did you get, and do you think that that you were able to get to many people to change their opinion about what is happening in Palestine?
So the feedback from my family, I was supposed to go a year ago, and I went to Malta and I got on the Handala, but nothing happened. And so my kids went through, unfortunately, it was like a mourning process because it was, we weren't sure what was going to happen. And so we had that, we dealt with that. So when I went this year, the kids were pretty tough, but underneath, it really affected them badly, really, really badly. Because if, they've got access to everything. And if you Google my name, there's a lot of stuff comes up and there's guns involved and, it worried them. My partner was very, very worried. She didn't sleep for a while. Oh, that was another thing I was going to say. This is the fun and games that the Israelis play. So the Israeli prison system rang up the Australian embassy and said, Robert has been involved in an altercation and we're transferring him. And so the Australian consulate has to ring and use the same words, verbatim pretty much. And so my partner was completely, didn't know what was happening. And then they also didn't tell the consulate where I was. They made this up. I hadn't touched anybody. They made this up to worry my family. That's the games that they play. But I would have to sneak out. My family wouldn't want me to go again, because I know that the more times I go, it becomes more risky for me. I know that if I did the same things today that I did in the West Bank back then, there's no chance I'm getting out of there. There's no chance. They're going to execute me so fast. I believe that the Handala has made a difference, and that came off the difference from the Madeleine. And so things are slowly getting better, and they're slowly getting better all over. So it's building. And so I got recognised. I still get recognised as you're Rob, you're on the flotilla. And this is in all different areas, which is really cool because they're all different walks of life. And it shows you that it's growing. It is growing. The freedom is getting closer every single day. And, Israel must be in panic mode. But I do believe that the flotilla that we went on contributed to a lot of people jumping on board the next one. Absolutely, I do, yes.
Totally agree with that. And I'm sorry that your family had to go through that. But after all, when you see what is happening in Palestine, you ask yourself on which side of history do you want to be? And you ask yourself, what can I do to help those who are in need? This is a moral question, and I do believe that everyone should do something and face the consequences, because They are trying to intimidate everyone. They are trying to spread fear in our hearts to make us stop. We cannot give them that. We need to keep going and do everything we can because it is the right thing to do. Again, guys, Robert didn't do this just because he likes Palestinians or just because he has a Palestinian friend. He did this because it is the right thing to do. And I'm sure that he would do the same with any other people who are facing occupation and oppression. Am I right, Mr. Robert?
100%. I'm glad you mentioned that because yes, and we the whole pro-Palestinian community would be exactly the same. Exactly the same. That would be exactly. It's all about the freedom and the right thing. So yeah, it's a good point. It's a very, very good point.
And also, if I could
Yeah.
just add, like, if I could add real quick, Siraj, like, you know, Robert could probably tell you, like, the day we left Italy, like, there were people with tears in their eyes. And even though it was just 21 of us on that ship, it felt like we were carrying the hopes and dreams of millions of people that support Palestine because, you know, more people would love to go on the ships, but it is, you know, a dangerous thing. And not everyone is capable of making that journey. You know, everyone has responsibilities and things like that. So it was truly an honor for us to be selected to go on this mission because we know more people want to do more.
He's right. He's absolutely right. We were out of the billions of people in the world. We were lucky enough to be in that position to do it. So it's it's an honor as well.
Mr. Robert, I want to introduce you to one of our friends, Ms. Danny. She's an American activist, and she has been promoting for the Palestinian cause on TikTok and other social media platforms. I want to see if she's available and willing to ask any questions. Danny, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm multitasking. Hi, Robert. I just started following you on Facebook once I was introduced to you on TikTok. So, yeah. So I think the first thing that I would say to you is thank you for using your privilege. It's something that we talk about not just when it comes to like what's happening with Palestinians, but even here in the US, whenever we see racism, it takes people like yourself willing to use the privilege that they have to do the right thing. So I just wanted to take a moment, first of all, to tell you that I'm really, truly grateful for you and Jacob as well, and your willingness to do that. So that would be number one.
We all got to do it. Thank you.
100%. Number two, the United States of America is undeniably complicit. And we have, how familiar are you with Project Esther, if at all, here?
Not overly a lot. I'm sure it'll trigger in my brain.
Okay, so the Heritage Foundation, the folks that gave us Project 2025 and the current administration in this country, on October 7th of 2024, they released another document called Project Esther. And what they are attempting to do here is dismantle the pro-Palestinian infrastructure by going after individuals that are critical of the Israeli government or shedding a light on what's happening in Gaza, to the degree that they are actually trying to label us as part of a T organization network. Like literally, that's what the verbiage says. Have you experienced anything similar in terms of the Australian government? And two, do you have recommendations for Americans who are gonna, just not willing to be silent, not willing to be complicit, because you have experienced hardships as a result? I think the sacrifices are worth it, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you would say to people approaching that.
So I was self-employed. And so when I started looking at Palestine and then I started posting, because I'm white and I'm a agnostic, non-religious person, my post went, pretty far and just kept going, when I talk about Palestine. And then the proud Israeli Jewish lobby at around the corner from where my office was, they had petitions. And so the anti-terrorism unit came to my office. And as I said before, but it was the best thing ever because we got to know each other really well. They got to know that I was not an anti-Semite, not a terrorist, any of these things, but actually a reasonably articulate, reasonably smart business person that was just trying to figure out what was going on his own. And then if he does further, I hadn't gone to Palestine at this stage when I met them. I said, I'm actually going to go over there, and they couldn't believe it. And so that was really good. That was really, really good. I don't think our government will ever get to that point. Look, we've got a group called Ajax. They used to put me on their anti-Semite list, but they would have a picture of my Facebook, and then they would have someone else's comments. So nothing that I had said, nothing. But I hadn't deleted somebody's comment, and so they used that. And so, look, it's a tough one. I have always been in that position where I've been not incumbent on employment. I haven't worked for somebody else.
Same here.
If I did, I would have kept doing what I did and found somewhere else to go. And I would have done that because, look, they did it. When I say so the anti-terrorist unit, they left, I did get attacked massively for about 12 months. Threats, emails, they sent emails of my face with the crosshairs, from a sniper, and, all of those things. And they all sort of started to die off. And then I woke up one day and said, because I used to engage too with these people sometimes. I get so angry. Whereas now I just go delete, boom, and it doesn't faze me. I don't care. I know things are changing. So it's a lot easier today than it was. It wasn't easy 10 years ago. It wasn't easy. It was much more difficult. So when we'd have a protest, it'd be a lot smaller. You'd have a counter protest from Israel, which were much bigger. And so things are definitely changing. But, if you can do it, do it.
Right.
But if it's going to be a detriment to your own life, you've got to balance things up. But there are things you can do that go under the radar. Become part of a group that maybe think tanks rather than putting your name on something. There's always a way.
Yeah, that's good. That's good advice. I think the challenge here in the States is that we have an administration that yes, that's a good word. Yep, that's absolutely crazy. And we have we have our military already being used on the streets of the city and things like that. So I think that when you talk about the balance, because you said your family would absolutely kill you if you go back, I find it difficult to find the balance because, and maybe you can share what this has been like because you've been doing this for a long time now. How do you personally juggle the absolute desire and commitment to help Palestine achieve their freedom and everyday life? Because I feel like sometimes, even like with my grandchildren, they all know my grandchildren. I have 3 of them, and if I didn't have them, I would be like you. I'd be on somebody's flotilla somewhere, doing all the things, and then sometimes I go, yeah, and yet, but they're losing their children. Like I'm so blessed to have mine. And so if you were going to say to other people that are balancing and they want to do all that they can for Palestine, how do they go about achieving that balance for themselves and for the people?
Well, you're no good to Palestine if you burn out. You're no good. It's a guy once told me early on, he said, Rob, it's a long game. It's a long game. So play like a long game where you can't go crazy and burn out, because a lot of people have. And a lot of the October 7ers are getting, I can't think of the word, but it's they're being traumatized by the trauma in Gaza. And so you find a lot of them dropping off now, disappearing, and then that's no good either. So you've got to, like you tell your kids, you've got to have moderation. You've got to have moderation. You've got to turn your phone off. You've got to leave your phone in your car. Because, I've got a grandson. He's 14 months. We have him on a Friday. But I've got a 16-year-old and a 12-year-old. And my 12-year-old does gymnastics, cheerleading, diving. And so I'm always driving her around. And I don't want to be that dad that's always on the phone. And so I try and leave it these days. My last week has been hectic. I've never been on TikTok because I never had the time. And so I'm trying to work it out where I don't burn out. You've got to take the time, because otherwise you could be on the phone 24/7. You're going to see dead kids. You're going to see grief. You're going to see all of these horrible things. So just turn it off and do something else. Go to the movies instead, because, you know, Palestine needs you for a long time still.
Great advice. I think that the freedom of the United States is tied to the freedom of Palestine. I just think that they are heavily connected. Um,
Oh, absolutely.
what are, yeah.
Do you think I'd get into America?
Did I what?
Do you think I'd get into the States?
I'll sponsor you.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know how much my sponsor
I'm
is.
here, so I'm in the States. Yeah. Come on. Come
I
on.
just had a few people
Happily.
say that, because I've been invited, and I've just had a few people say that I probably wouldn't get in at the moment. So
Well, no, I mean, I do. I think that you would. Um, yeah, I think that you would probably, because I don't think that they would afford the stink if you weren't. You don't think they would, Abu Yusuf? I think he would get in, actually. So I think it would be
make some
about
bets.
finding the right people to sponsor you.
I'll sneak you in
Yep.
through our secret Jew tunnels. Don't worry.
I've seen you use those, so that'd be perfect.
Yeah,
Right.
see,
They look
everybody's
cold
talking
at the
about the
moment.
fact that you're white. See, people are saying it. Yeah, he would. He's white. Yeah, he
Yeah.
would absolutely be
Just put a
fine.
yarmulke on, you'll be fine.
Jacob, I cannot with you.
Love it.
Yeah, but no, I think
Well, I
that
hope I answered your question anyway, Danny. I hope
yeah,
I did.
absolutely you
Put
did.
it on.
And because I am new, so I'm similar to you in the fact that I'm not like part of a particular religion now. However, I did grow up in the South, and I grew up neck deep in Christianity, and I grew up in the belief that, you know, Israel and the Israelis were the chosen people, and deconstructing that and speaking to it. I think that that's one of the things that gives me the ability to speak to those particular group of people because I belonged to them at one point in time. And so I find that that kind of helps, especially because I'm in the South. So, but no, you did fantastic. Thank you.
Today, Robert?
It's tomorrow, I guess.
Tomorrow.
30
happy,
minutes.
Tomorrow.
Someone
happy birthday to you.
Thanks, brother.
Happy
Someone just
birthday.
said, am I still in contact with Miko? Yes, I spoke to him today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Aline, I'd happily do a podcast with both Robert and Jacob. Happily.
Yeah, cool. That'd be
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, I'm down for all of it.
Inshallah.
100%, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Danny. And thank you, Robert, for answering the questions. I have a question now. What, like, this is a message for the people who are listening to you and the ones who will be watching videos that we will take from this live as well. What do you want the people to what do you want the people to do after hearing you today? Not in a year, not in a week, but right now. What do you want them to do for Palestine?
You know what I think would be the easiest, the path of least resistance is these days. But I would get involved with the Samud and watch it for the next week. The flotilla. I think that would be a very easy thing. And people will also get blown away when they see the amount of support coming out of Tunisia. Because I know a lot of people, it can be a lonely place too for pro-Palestine. Because, you know, in the old days, you're alone a little bit. Whereas today, you can become part of groups. But I would do that. Just have a look at that and go from there. I think that would be a good thing. It's an easy entrance. I think most people in here have a pretty good idea of the basics anyway. And look, let's face it, it's a really basic thing. It's a very, very basic thing. Israel is stealing Palestine. That's it.
I agree with you. So people, if you have any questions, please write them in the comments as well. Anyone on the panel wants to add anything, guys? Because I need 2 minutes. I need just to help my mom with something. So
Jacob, we'll find out who's doing the live updates, because somebody will be. I think it was going to be coming from the Samud account, but I'll reach out and try and find out who that is, because I think it's important.
I believe not every ship has internet. Like not every ship has
No.
Starlink. So it's a little more difficult to have updates the same way we had on our Freedom Flotilla.
Please talk about my tattoos.
I was gonna ask. Everyone's asking about your tattoos in the.
What I was gonna ask
if you could do a tattoo tour.
Because I noticed the first thing I noticed was the key that you have. Yes.
Now that's the key, because if you're in the pro-Palestinian movement, people sort of know what that means, and I get a lot of the old Palestinians coming up, going, having a look at it. This one here is upside down, but that is a dove with a red bullet armed thing. It's getting shot. So Israel is shooting the peace. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Because the dove represents peace.
Yeah. That's that one.
That's nice.
I'll move this. Can you see that?
Free Palestine has fingers too. That's the easy one right there on the fingers.
Oh, yeah, they hated those ones. They really hated those ones. The people in the jail.
I'm gonna say, did they make any comments towards any of your tattoos that you have?
One of them said we should cut them off like they would in the other Arab countries. I laughed. I gave him the middle finger for that. There's that one. So that is a Darwish poem about land. I can't. So, and then there's these other ones.
Wait till you see the one on his butt. I'm just joking.
Jacob.
Joking.
Oh my days.
I sometimes forget. Oh, it's the neck ones I like the best, actually, because when you're on a plane and stuff, people look at them and they really. This one says resistance is existence.
That actually.
Oh, then there's from the river to the sea.
Have you had people come up to you and ask about them?
Yeah. Yes, I have. Yeah.
So,
My kids say
so
I'm gonna
but
stop. I'm too
I
old.
watched one of your interviews, and you said something that really got to me. You said, "I'm not a proud Australian. I'm a proud Palestine supporter."
Yes, that was something last year.
Yeah, you know that I meet a lot of people who have a difficulty with recognizing that their own countries or their own governments are complicit with what is happening here, and they find it hard to criticize their own people. But yet I see people like you who are not afraid of doing that. Yani, what can you tell us more about that?
Well, that was because of the look. The Australian government just being so terribly poor on Palestine. So I wasn't a proud Australian. I'm a proud Australian when it comes to those supporting Palestine, because the community is so much bigger today. It is bigger, but Australia isn't a perfect place, and I'll wait till the government does a few extra things before I can say I'm proud to be an Australian again. I'm just not at the moment.
from Australia actually refer to it as so-called Australia, like tan, like always
Yeah.
refer to it as that. Like I guess because they consider it sort of colonizing. You know, it's not
Yeah, no,
indigenous. Or something like that.
yeah, it's not my thing, but that is a very big thing these days, and they'll call it so-called Australia. Like Melbourne, they call Naarm instead. And look, each to their own. Each to their own. But you know, it's I suppose it's like me, Jacob, when I was in the prison, where he kept saying, "Have you been to Israel before?" I said, "No, never been." He said, and then he pointed to his screen where he had my entrances and my visas and everything. He said, "Yeah, you've been." I said, "No. I've been to Palestine. I don't recognize Israel." And he got really mad. So I suppose it's the same thing, same sort of thing.
People say something about Jerusalem. Like, what's that? I know Al Quds. I
Yeah.
never heard of this Jerusalem.
Yeah, Hebron.
Good.
Oh,
Oh, it's one of the Zio's talking points. They say if Australians did it, Americans did it, why is it a problem for us to do it? They act as if it's okay to carry out a genocide and take other people's land. But I do believe that anyone with sanity, humanity, and good moral compass would recognize that these things were wrong, and just because they happened back then, it doesn't mean that they should keep happening
no.
again.
And times were much different. Like it was made illegal well after all of that. So they could just go somewhere else.
So someone is asking about your radio time. Do you?
Oh, okay.
So
interesting.
So what can you tell us about that?
So I was on a radio show in Melbourne called 3CR, and it was called Palestine Remembered. But I haven't done it for a few years. My friend Nasser Mashni is on it now. It was a half an hour session we used to do once a week. It's been around for 14 years, that show, so I didn't create it, but I was on it for a while.
Amazing. So my final question for you, brother. If this interview were the last time you could speak publicly, what truth about Palestine you would want etched into history in your own words?
What's going to happen to
No,
me?
you'll be fine. Let's say if you...
You scared him. His
No,
mind
it sounds
just
so
popped out of
ominous.
his head.
Jeez.
This is my obituary.
No,
Okay.
I mean, what do you want people to know about Palestine in your own words?
Okay. Palestine is one of the most beautiful places in the world, filled with beauty, beautiful people, beautiful souls, but currently has a virus running through it called Zionism. Once we cleanse the land of Zionism, Palestine will be for the Palestinians and anyone else who's happy to live there with equal rights for everyone. That will be it.
It was beautiful, and I really hope that we will all live to see that day where everyone in this globe can live together peacefully, with no more fighting, no more greed, no more hatred. After all, for us Palestinians, this is what we have always wanted. We just wanted peace, but sometimes you can't get it without a fight, and that's what we're gonna keep doing, inshallah, till we get it. Our rights.
The biggest weakness was that you weren't anti-Semites because you invited them in. You allowed them in, and then they took. So that was to your detriment because you were not anti-Semites.
Exactly. We welcomed them when they needed help.
Yeah.
And then look, we have been suffering since then. But everything happens for a reason. Alhamdulillah for everything. That's what we always say. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing to have a better life. After all, we are fighting for the future generation, for our kids, to grow up in a place without being controlled or occupied by anyone, where they can go and visit their relatives and loved ones in the West Bank, in Jerusalem, in Jaffa, Akka, Haifa, without being intercepted, without being intimidated. Hopefully we will all see this day. And as long as there are people like you and like the others who are watching us right now, I do have hope. I really want to thank you, Mr. Robert, for being with us here. I truly enjoyed this interview. We have learned a lot, and I'm sure that the stories you have shared with us will be an inspiration for others to do more, because at this point, when you are watching a G-side, you need to do more. We need to do everything we can to stop this madness and to save the innocent lives of Palestinians, especially the children. Thank you so much, Mr. Robert.
Thank you for having me, though. Seriously, it's been an honor to come on your show and to speak to you. So I appreciate you giving me the time, and everybody else, fantastic. Thank you.
Right, everyone follow Robert. He's new to TikTok. Please, everybody. I see you already got more than 1,000 followers pretty quickly. I remember you had 2 followers when you had me come.
I didn't want any more than 2. I was happy with 2.
No, but you needed 1,000 to turn your camera on, so I'm glad you got it together. So thanks for having me on, Siraj.
We'll do this again. See you guys.
Big W. Thank you so much, Robert. It's a pleasure.
Thank you,
And I hope you
Mr.
have a
Robert.
wonderful
Thank you
birthday.
so much.
Thank you very
Happy
much.
birthday.
And happy birthday.
Yeah, in 15
Happy
minutes.
birthday to
Oh
you.
my
Oh,
God.
do Arabic version. Happy birthday.
Wait, Mr. Robert. Wait. We have a beautiful singer with us today. Hey, Money, are you there?
Oh, let me get
Hey,
my
Money.
earplugs real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you cannot leave without her singing you happy birthday. Come on, hey, Money. Show him what you got.
It's your birthday. Today is the
12
birthday?
minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes.
Oh, I forgot you're on Australia time. Okay. You want in Arabic or English? I'm just
Future.
kidding.
Arabic.
He is in the future. Give me 1 second,
Big
y'all.
lead up here.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Robert. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Robert.
That was magnificent. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
No problem.
That was beautiful.
Do you know how to exit out of here, Robert? You know how to exit? I'm not even sure if you know how to exit out of a panel.
Say that again?
You know how to
He's
exit
been
out of the
learning
panel?
with Jacob, actually.
He wanted the Arabic version, by the way.
Arabic version of
Yeah.
Mooney.
Oh, he wanted the Arabic version? Okay,
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Yo, Jacob, I
can't
need you
stand
to
Jacob.
record that so I can put it in a card.
Okay, ready?
Hold on, Robert. She's gonna sing the Arabic version for you.
And by the way, Jacob, he's been learning the past week how to come up and down off a panel.
Yeah, I'm really good now.
Yeah, you see him?
When I was
really
on
good
my
now.
other ship, he was like, I was trying to teach him the ropes. You still got
he got it. He's a pro now.
Language, so,
He got it. He's a pro.
Okay.
W.
Not quite.
Okay. Sana helwa ya gamil. Sana helwa ya gamil. Sana helwa ya gamil. Sana helwa ya gamil. Cha cha cha. That's where you come in, Jay.